What's going on? We are looking at a trade recap for Wednesday, August 23rd, 2023. So, there are two trades on this, but essentially it's one, and I will show you why in a second here. We pretty much got stopped out break even. I then saw it bounce like almost to the cent off of my stop, and then I re-entered, and then the trade ended up working as if I had played it normally. I moved my stop to break even about 30 minutes into the trade, which is why we took a break even or a $6 loss on the first piece and then made 120 on the second piece. So it's going to kind of skew the numbers. Technically, the win rate is 50%, even though really it's 100% today. It should have been a one and done. And also, it's going to make the loss, it's going to throw off the average win loss a little bit, factoring in. There's still 60 trades for the month, so which is too much, to be honest with you. So what's one? It's not going to make a big difference, but you can see in the top right now that for the month of August, our average win loss is 1.31. And now our win rate is 37% or almost 38%, probably about 38%. And we're coming back. We were down a lot more. We had essentially started out the month with some sizing issues and just kind of like over trading in choppy environments that didn't need to be traded. And so it is what it is, but you're learning and we're adapting to it. And here we are. So we had Google today, and I want to replay this trade for you because it was fun, or it's going to be kind of cool to look at. I literally just finished it. It's 9:49 a.m. my time. I've got shit to do today, so I'm going to go ahead and do that stuff. And then I'm going to get back on for a stream. Hopefully this comes out before the stream, but we should be streaming later for Power Hour like we usually do on Wednesday and NVIDIA's live and NVIDIA's earnings, which should be fun. So I'm going to just go back through this Google play. Let me pull up the charts. I guess it's probably easier to pull up the charts versus because going into two of these contracts or two of these trades, really was one trade. Here's the trade. So I go back to Google, load her up, set the stage. I look around and I'm like, you know what? What's going on today? Market was gapping up, then it sold off into the open, then it bounced. Now it's ripping up to the upside. So we're kind of like all over the place, chopping around left, right, left, right. Then I look around, I'm like, well, what's the strongest stock? What's the weakest stock? Weakest stock, I believe at the time was Tesla. Let me go to my watch list here. So I go to my trade list. I only have a couple of stocks on this list, nothing crazy. It's like 10, 12 stocks, not even. Been some futures, but I really don't trade those right now. So Tesla at the time was red. Google at the time was like up almost 2%. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's pretty cool. Let's check on Google's chart. And I was like, I know Google has been relatively strong or holding up better this pullback than a lot of other stocks. And wouldn't you know, Google's breaking out to not a new high yet. It's close, but it's breaking out over some resistance that we haven't been able to break the past couple of weeks or really for the entire month of August. Awesome. That's a perfect textbook setup for me to take the trade. It might even hit the new high, or at least it tested those highs. Either way, that was it. So then I come in here, I go, okay, let's go to the 1 hour chart. Let's draw our level. So I draw the highs of the past month, essentially, on the 1 hour chart. And I'm like, okay, we get above that, we look good. Or even if we get a 5-minute like setup consolidation right before that, I'll take that trade because we're at a pretty key spot. So then I go to the 5-minute chart. This is just literally how I walk through this thing, one step at a time. I go to the 5-minute chart. Yeah, man, that stop loss was stupid, but you'll see what I mean. Could have made a little more actually, technically on the day. But push up, clear resistance. Now this blue line, by the way, is a line. This that I drew. That was our highs of the past month. Notice how clean Google comes up to that spot. Look at all those wicks. It came up right to that spot beautifully. And I'm like, okay, great. We're holding the VWAP. We're pushing some higher lows. We got strength. We're squeezing up into that resistance. Eventually, enough pressure, it's going to pop and break. And that's what we're looking for. So that's exactly what we got. And I entered on this candlestick right here. Then Google ends up pushing up, pulling back, pretty much holding the prior resistance as support. Then it pushed up. Once Google gets up into here, I say to myself, okay, now I'm in the trade for, I don't know, what is that, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 minutes. I'm in the trade 25 minutes. We've got a decent pop in my direction. I'm going to put my stop loss at break even, which was like somewhere right in here, because if it comes back on me, I don't want to lose on a trade that I was right. We get a 25-minute move. Essentially, it was slow. We get a 25-minute move in my direction to the upside. I was right. It wasn't like a quick, wick up for 5 seconds, and then it came right back down where I got faked out. No, I was right here. The trade was good. Let's put the stop loss break even. So here's where we kind of get into trouble. Not in trouble, but this wick comes down, nails my stop barely by a couple cents, and then immediately it sucks it right back up. So when I see it come back up, I'm like, okay. On this candle, I'm like, okay, let's get back in. We are holding. We literally just came back and held the same spot. I'm going to get back in. My original stop loss was below here. The VWAP has been moving up nicely, so I'm going to leave the VWAP as my stop loss. So I re-enter now with my new stop loss being higher than here. So essentially, it's the same risk reward. Taking the break-even stop there, I re-entered, I think, somewhere like around here. And then eventually it pushed to the upside and went. My stop loss was going to be VWAP no matter what. As VWAP continues to push up, that means my stop loss can move up. And so taking a little bit of a higher entry is fine in my view. So maybe a flaw in the play. Again, here's the thing. Not to get, all weird, not to get all into this again, but the whole thing about like, okay, well, shares versus options. Had you played shares, this probably wouldn't have even break in that level. And my entry point, I entered this thing like literally at the blue line. So my entry was right here. It would have been very close to stopping out if even that. And when you're playing options, right, there's other factors that can influence the price of those things. And so, a stop loss can get hit a little bit easier than shares in my view, because when you're looking at shares, right, I can put a stop loss under the recent 10-cent level or whatever and say, okay, we came down to the 66. I'm going to put the stop loss right below the 60. And if we break below that, okay, get me out on the stop. And that wouldn't have hit. This would have kept me in the trade and would have had this nice clean one trade done. Either way, same thing. It was kind of one thing I had to just adjust on the fly. And that's just funny how that works, right? Those bigger, lower wicks freak you out and then just snaps right back up. But I was there for the trade. It worked. And we collect and move on. So 114 on the day. Not a lot of money, it's by any means, but it's it's a one and done, if you will, a one and done. I did scale out on this trade. I scaled out. If we look at these contracts, I did scale out. I had 3 contracts. I didn't even play it with a ton of. It was actually below my my normal size of $1,000. It actually was $750. So based on the risk reward I was looking at, it just made the most sense. I got in at 250 on 3 contracts. I sold one at 280, one at 285, and then one at 305. Just based off of levels on level 2 that I was looking at of resistance. These were spots that made sense to me. And that was above our 10% target initially that we're looking for roughly. And so once we start getting above 10%, I start looking to next resistance levels to start locking in gains. Let me just log this really quick. So custom, this was 2 system. It was like a picture perfect setup to system. Setups, clear bull flag. This is a beautiful play. And now we are logged, baby. So back to the month. We are now down 479. It's possible. Hey, it's only Wednesday of this week. I will be here Thursday, Friday, and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. That's 5 days. If we went plus 1R average, and 1R is about $100, each of the next 5 days on average, we will potentially be green on the month. It would be nuts. If this month finishes green, that would be amazing. But we'll see. Either way, I like the momentum we have right now as of late, as we've kind of taken some shots, taken some hits. Market was kind of choppy, had to adjust to that. Now we're kind of just making sure we're right there when we get opportunities. And I'm super excited. Now, Google's not one of my favorite stocks to trade. It really is not. I love, this setup is cool on Google, so it was great. But I love the Teslas, the Nvidias, the AMDs, the Metas. If we can get some good setups on those guys in the next couple of weeks, post Powell on Friday and stuff, this is going to be good. But, as they had big moves, now they've kind of pulled back, consolidated, shop around. Let them kind of settle down for their next move. August also tends to be kind of a choppier month, just historically speaking. Now we can look at maybe September, October, and maybe even to end of the year as some good trending periods. Whatever trend direction that is, I'm happy to be there for it. And hopefully we can get some nice trades. Hope that was helpful. Links to TradeZella, all the stuff I use in the description box below. But yeah, I track everything here, and I usually look at the charts on TradingView to just do my top-down analysis, and then I trade it on Webull That's the broker that I've been using for this stuff. And for now, it works great for me. So thanks so much. I'll see you guys in the next trade recap. Peace.